Have you ever stood at the edge of ending it all? Heart pounding, convinced that leaving is the only way to save yourself. But what if that instinct is lying to you? What if the very moment you want to run is actually the moment you need to stay? Today, we're going to uncover the hidden truth about when breaking up is a mistake and how to tell the difference between a relationship that's dying and one that's just being born. Should I stay or should I go? It is perhaps the most agonizing question in modern love. Most people leave relationships they should have stayed in and stay in relationships they should have left. The hard part isn't making the decision. It's knowing which category you're actually in. We live in a culture that has made leaving look like self-respect and staying look like weakness. Social media hands out advice like you deserve better as if it's universal wisdom without asking the more important question first. Do you actually understand what is happening here? Because most relationships that end prematurely don't end because they were unfixable. They end because the people in them never got underneath the surface problem to find the real one. Here are 3 specific situations where leaving is actually the wrong answer. Point 1, the disillusionment phase. Number 1, when you are in the disillusionment phase, but you're calling it incompatibility. Every serious relationship passes through a stage that nobody prepares you for. The projection fades. The real person arrives. The fantasy of who you thought they were gives way to who they actually are, including the parts that disappoint you, frustrate you, and fall short of what you imagined. This is called disillusionment. And contrary to popular belief, it is an incredibly normal stage in every long-term relationship. Most importantly, it is not a sign that you chose the wrong person. It is a developmental stage of every relationship that goes deep enough to be real. Psychologist Dan Wile spent a decade studying couples and found that choosing a partner always means choosing a particular set of unresolvable problems. Not because the relationship is broken, but because people are complex. The question is never whether problems exist. They always do. The question is whether this specific set of problems is one that you can live with and grow through. The mistake is reading the discomfort of disillusionment as evidence of incompatibility. In fact, it's evidence of something more significant. You are being asked, perhaps for the first time, to love someone real instead of someone imagined. That's not a reason to leave. That is exactly where real love begins. Point 2, flooding during conflict. Number 2, when you want to leave during a fight. The urge to end a relationship during conflict feels in the moment like clarity. It feels like you are finally seeing things the way they truly are. But it isn't clarity. It's flooding. When your nervous system is activated, when cortisol is running high, and when your body has moved into a threat response, your mind reaches for the most extreme available solution to stop the pain. In a relationship, that solution is leaving. Research by Dr. John Gottman found that this impulse is one of the most consistent features of insecure attachment. Specifically, it affects people who learned early on that conflict meant the relationship was over. So, they ended it first to protect themselves from being abandoned. That is not the relationship telling you something is wrong. That is your nervous system telling you it never learned that conflict can be survived without threatening the entire bond. The rule is simple. Never make a permanent decision from inside a temporary emotional state. If you want to break up while you are angry, wait. The clarity you seek will only come once the storm has passed. Point 3, love without skills. Number 3, when love is real, but skills are missing. Two people can genuinely love each other and still produce a relationship that feels painful, disconnected, and chronically unsatisfying. This happens not because the love isn't real, but because the skills required to translate that love into a functioning partnership were never developed. I'm talking about skills like how to repair after a conflict, how to express needs without blame, how to stay present during difficulty rather than shutting down or escalating, how to be vulnerable without performing. These are skills, not personality traits. They were either modeled in childhood or they weren't. For most people, they weren't. And if they weren't, you arrive in your adult relationships with a gap, not a flaw, a gap. And gaps can be filled. The answer to love without skills is not new love. It is developing the skills that allow the love you already have to actually reach the other person. The framework and conclusion now, look, none of this is an argument for staying in something harmful. Some relationships should end. Some people are genuinely incompatible. Some dynamics are too damaging to preserve. But that is a different category from difficult. In a culture obsessed with leaving and cutting ties, real courage is sometimes the willingness to stay, to understand instead of exit, to choose the imperfect person in front of you fully and with clear eyes, rather than chasing the idea of someone better waiting just past the next ending. Therapist Terry Real offers perhaps the most honest framework for making this decision. He asks one simple question: am I getting enough from this relationship to make grieving what I'm not getting worthwhile? Not. Is this relationship perfect? It never will be. Not, does this person meet all my needs? No one ever will. But on balance, do the things this relationship gives you outweigh the things it doesn't? Because every relationship has a cost, and that's what most people don't want to accept. Every person comes with limitations, blind spots, and wounds unhealed from their childhood. The question was never whether those things exist. It is whether what you are receiving is worth what you are navigating. When the answer is genuinely yes, stay. Work. Build something real with the imperfect person in front of you. When the answer is no, not out of fear, not out of flooding, and not because you are in the disillusionment phase, then leaving isn't just giving up. It's clarity. Healthy love was never the absence of difficulty. It is the decision made with open eyes that this person and this relationship are worth it. If this perspective shifted how you see your relationship, you're not alone. We dive deeper into the psychology of connection every week. Make sure to subscribe to Beneath Attraction and hit the notification bell so you never miss a step toward healthier love. Thank you for watching.